Have you ever wondered what if some mythical creatures actually exist in real life? We've all heard stories from our grandparents about mythical creatures, how they once encountered something strange deep in the forest. But do these creatures really exist or not? That's exactly what we'll find out in this video. Make sure to watch the video till the end, because even your grandparents might change their story real quick. Let's dive in.
The number 4 on our list is Yeti, also known as the Abominable Snowman, is a mythical creature that is supposedly native to the Himalayas. This creature is said to be massive, up to 8 feet tall, covered in thick white or gray fur and walking upright like a man. But unlike its North American cousin Bigfoot, the Yeti is often described as far more aggressive. One of the first major reports that caught the world's attention came from a British expedition to Mount Everest in 1921. The team found enormous footprints, human-like, but far too large. Local guides told them, that's the Yeti. There have been dozens of alleged sightings. One monk even claimed to have recovered a scalp from a Yeti. Whether it was genuine or not, the relic became so famous that explorers and scientists begged to examine it. In 2017, researchers tested samples of fur and bone that were claimed to be from Yetis. The results? Most were from known animals: bears, yaks, or wolves. But even the researchers admitted something fascinating. One of the samples didn't match any known species. It wasn't definitive proof, but it wasn't exactly nothing either. The next one on our list are Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers are mythical shape-shifting creatures that appear in Navajo folklore. According to the Navajo tribe, the Skinwalkers are witches that can transform into any creature. They are believed to inhabit the American Southwest, particularly around the Navajo Nation in Arizona and New Mexico. Initial Skinwalker reports in the United States started in 1966, where people claimed to see shape-shifting creatures in the forest. However, there is no direct scientific evidence of the existence of shape-shifting creatures like Skinwalkers. The next one on our list is the giant serpent. For many centuries, giant serpents have been shown in many stories, from Jormungandr in Norse mythology to Vasuki in Hindu mythology. But these monsters weren't just made-up stories, they were actually real. Scientists have found fossils of giant snake known as Titanoboa. These monsters were the largest species of snakes ever known, estimated to be around 13 meters long, and weighed over a ton. They dominated the rainforests of South America and were believed to crush animals' bones by wrapping around them. Some believe they still exist in the swamps of the Amazon rainforest. The next one on our list is Chupacabra. The Chupacabra, a legendary creature in folklore, particularly known in parts of the Americas. It's a terrifying, blood-hungry creature. The Chupacabra appeared in 1995 in Puerto Rico, when about 1,000 sheep were found dead the same way, with 2 holes in their neck. Locals named the killer Chupacabra, which means goat-sucker in Spanish. Witnesses describe creature as kangaroo-like reptile with red eyes and spines along its back, while others describe the creature as dog-like creature with mange, a skin disease caused by mites, which can lead to hair loss and a scaly appearance. The sightings of a creature spread throughout Latin America and southern United States, with similar reports of livestock killings. The Chupacabra has become a pop culture legend, showing up in movies, shows, and stories told around campfires. But is it actually real? Some people think so. They believe it could be a species we haven't discovered yet, something out there in the dark, hiding in the shadows.
The next on our list is Wendigo. Often described as tall creature standing at 13 feet long, its body looks like it's trapped in pain, thin, with pale skin stretched tight over its bones. Its fingers end in long, sharp claws. Its eyes glow in the dark, and its mouth is always open, like it's starving for human flesh. It's often shown with antlers or the skull of a deer for a head, a haunting sign of its wild, animal-like nature. Wendigo legends are primarily found within Algonquian-speaking indigenous cultures of North America, especially in the Great Lakes and eastern Canadian regions. The Wendigo is known for its endless hunger for human flesh, and some believe it can even take over a person's mind, driving them to commit cannibalism. According to the legend, the Wendigo hunts its prey by hiding in forests, staying perfectly still and silent, blending into the trees. Sometimes it mimics human voices, crying for help or calling your name, to trick people deeper into the woods. Once you're alone and lost, it strikes fast, using its long claws and speed. It doesn't need to run after you. It waits in the dark until you come to it. Some stories say that people who became too greedy or selfish could slowly turn into a Wendigo. In other versions, the change happened when someone ate human flesh to survive, like during a harsh winter. That one terrible act could curse them forever. So, does the Wendigo exist in real life? Probably not. But the Wendigo is really a symbol of what happens when people stop caring about others and lose their kindness. The next one is my personal favorite, the Manananggal. And trust me, this one's straight out of nightmares. The Manananggal is a creature from Filipino folklore, and it's terrifying. By day, she looks like a normal, beautiful woman. But by night, she changes into a terrifying monster. Her body splits in half, literally, and the upper half sprouts wings and flies off into the dark, leaving the lower half standing still like some kind of horror statue. She hunts at night, searching for sleeping victims. Using her long, needle-like tongue, she drinks the blood. People say if you find the lower half of her body and sprinkle salt or garlic on it, she can't return to it. And if the sun rises before she finds her lower half again, she dies. But the real fear? You never see her coming. You just hear the sound of wings, and before you even think of escaping, it's over. People in the Philippines still believe in the Manananggal, especially in the provinces. Some even build their houses with special precautions: thick rooftops, sharp bamboo fences, and protective herbs like garlic hanging near windows. In some rural areas, you'll still hear people say, "Don't go out at night," or "Close the windows before dark." So, does the Manananggal actually exist? Well, there's no solid proof. No one's ever caught one. But sometimes, fear doesn't need proof. It just needs a story. The next creature on our list is the Hobbit. Now, we probably know hobbits from the movie The Lord of the Rings, but these small guys were actually real, and they were only recently discovered in 2015 on the island of Flores, Indonesia. Scientists named them Homo floresiensis. They were only about 3 feet tall and lived on the island around 50,000 years ago, alongside bigger, stronger humans. They had brains about the size of chimpanzees, but don't let their short height fool you. They made stone tools and even hunted bigger animals like elephants. The most likely cause of extinction these guys is the arrival of modern humans around 50,000 years ago. Their appearance likely led to competition for resources, possible conflict, or the introduction of new diseases, which led to their extinction. The next creature on our list is Siren Head, a towering nightmare standing over 33 feet tall. His body, like a twisted, rotting tree, thin, lifeless, as if it's been rooted in the forest for centuries. But it's his head that truly haunts people. Not a skull, not a face, just 2 rusty loudspeakers bolted to a metal spine. And from them come the most chilling sounds you can imagine. A child crying, a familiar voice calling your name, a distorted police radio pleading for backup. He doesn't chase you, he lures you in. Siren Head is a hunter who doesn't need speed. He uses sound to draw his prey closer, by mimicking anything: your voice, your loved ones, your worst fears. Despite his massive size, Siren Head moves in absolute silence. The first image of him surfaced in 2018, created by artist Trevor Henderson, and it exploded online. But beings like Siren Head aren't entirely new. Long before the internet, ancient legends warned of forest spirits that mimicked familiar voices to lure travelers into the dark. Today, Siren Head lives on in games, movies, and stories, a modern myth rooted in something much older. So, does he actually exist? Probably not. Next one on our list is Indus worm. Over 2,000 years ago, Greek historians wrote about a strange and terrifying creature, a giant worm said to crawl through the Indus River. But this wasn't just campfire storytelling. They claimed locals hunted it to extract a rare oil, one so volatile it could ignite on contact. It sounds unbelievable. And today, it probably is. There's no physical proof the Indus worm ever existed, no skeletons, no remains, not even a confirmed sighting. But long before dinosaurs ruled the earth, another giant did. Its name was Arthropleura, a massive millipede-like creature, nearly 2.6 meters long and as wide as a school bus. It slithered through ancient forests during a time when oxygen levels were much higher, allowing bugs to grow to terrifying sizes. So how did this real creature turn into the legend of the Indus worm? Most likely, the Greeks saw locals using flammable oil, maybe from natural sources, and didn't understand where it came from. Then, they saw fossilized remains of giant creatures like Arthropleura, and their imaginations did the rest. is unicorn. You've probably only heard of unicorns in fairy tales or stories, but some researchers believe that unicorns actually existed thousands of years ago. During the time of the Indus Valley civilization, people used to draw a creature on stones that had a large horn on its head. People today think those were just unicorns from stories, but that's not true. There really was a creature called Elasmotherium. It looked similar to a rhinoceros and had a huge horn, as big as a human. These creatures lived thousands of years ago, but eventually went extinct, possibly due to climate change and human hunting. So yes, unicorns did exist, but sadly, we humans were the reason they disappeared. The next creature on our list are Dracula. People have been talking about Dracula for a very long time. The story of Dracula began in the Middle Ages, when people at that time believed that dead bodies could come back to life. That's why they used to drive wooden stakes into the chests of corpses, to make sure they couldn't return. They didn't know what really happens to dead bodies after death. For example, sometimes nails and hair appear to grow after death, which seemed scary to them, because science and knowledge were not that advanced back then. Now the real question is, does Dracula exist? There are many diseases that resemble it. For example, porphyria, a disease in which the skin becomes extremely sensitive to sunlight and can start to burn. Then there's rabies, which can make a person behave aggressively or strangely, almost like an animal. So, in the end, Dracula's doesn't really exist. It's just a fear that spread over time. The next creature we're going to talk about is Babayaga. You may have heard the name Babayaga, but do you really know what she is? Babayaga is actually a mythical creature from Slavic cultural mythology. She is described as an old witch-like woman with long iron teeth and a large, crooked nose. She lives deep in the forest in a wooden house, but not just any house. Her house stands on giant chicken legs and moves around the forest. She travels through the forest in that house, constantly searching for her next victim. Her victims are often said to be children, as she is believed to target them. But in some versions of the legend, she is not entirely evil. She is seen as the guardian of the forest, someone who offers you a choice. Either she will help you, or she will eat you. So the big question is, does such a creature actually exist? The answer is, Baba Yaga is part of an ancient mythical culture, a symbol, a legend, not a real being, but the fear and mystery surrounding her continue to live on in stories. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Click the video on the screen to watch part 5 of series.